White takes, bishop b2, and then takes. It's gotta be winning. This knight f4. c4 is not even a threat if we really take a look at it. So maybe a4. a4, bishop d7, bishop b5, c4. Yeah, let's go c4 anyways. Yeah, and here it's time to go for this one. Queen e6. So f5 square at h4. f4. Rook b7, rook d7. Inconvenient, yes it is. Rook 8, rook e7. Just a way, good way, it looks like. Yeah, this one is completely lost. Knight c1, what's the idea? What if I play this now? Because h3, king e2, h2, king f2, h1, h3, knight d3. I think something like bishop g3 solves the issue. Yeah, let's go. Even if king e2 is played, bishop g3 looks like a move that destroys all white hopes. Yeah, it's over. h3. B takes c5. That's it. I'm not in a very good spot, but that's fine. Rook c6. I don't think that was the right move from black. Rook f7. Queen e5 maybe. Maybe h4. Tough decision here. King h2, h4, king f2, g4. Rook e3, f4, takes, queen e5, looks good. Maybe rook e3, just play simple. Alright, bishop c2, h5, bishop e7, and we should be good. Oh, takes. No, but I played this move here, no? Wait, what? Oh, bishop c4, knight d4. But queen d4 takes this, bishop h3. Did he calculate it for real? Who is this guy? But he lost a bunch of games already, like. Yeah, I should probably take. Knight d4. Maybe queen f4 instead. Because it doesn't matter if I play this, because there also I have to count this. So queen f4. And then takes, takes, takes. Maybe here queen f4. And then let's play this endgame. Queen g6, knight g5. Yeah, let's go. No, but that's not the pass move, is it? Like if I take, I believe this is what's gonna happen, right? So am I forced to take? But I have a lot better position, so takes, bishop d5, knight d2. Or do I have some knight d5 first? Yeah, knight d5 looks more promising. Oh, what's happening? Indonesian coach made a move. Oh, but now I just take. I'm not sure about this one. Alright, let me play maybe some bullet games meanwhile. Via Parten. It's 50. Yeah, 2 knights. Nah. The most annoying thing that people can play is actually this line. Because it's very boring. Black are not even fighting for anything. They're just like, okay, we trade pieces of the board, and then there's not much both sides can do. Oh, yeah, this is a good thing. For black, of course, not for me. If he takes, that's fine. Rook d8, I might consider knight d6. There's still like some attacks against f7 potentially, but again, tough to say. This king goes to h1, takes, king g5, potentially looking to attack. Wait, queen g6. Again. Knight f. Oh, wait. Takes. Knight b5. Okay, I took a pawn. Potentially it's a better position. A lot better position. This, rook d1. Knight d6. Knight d4. Bishop c2. Yep. h4. g4, h5. Rook a1. This. No, potentially it's annoying, but tough to say for now. Oh. And this. Yeah, I'm being checkmated. I should have won this game, of course. Yeah, that's tough. Bester, congrats. Congrats, well deserved. Yeah, surprisingly, you didn't have any problems. Yeah, 6.5 out of 7 is 6.5 out of 7 is very solid. How did I lose this game, man? Pastor, you can send me. I'm not sure. Will you send it me on Discord? Oh, believe me, 3 hours is not that long. Nah, knight g3 was just terrible. Knight d6, knight f5, bishop f3, king g1. What, I'm completely winning, right? Rook d7 maybe. Rook e8, king f7. Oh my goodness, yeah, completely missed. Yeah, you can send me on Discord. Yeah, let's see what you've got. Oh yeah, it like the festival in Biel is actually really good. Like I heard, I mean, a lot of good players are going there. I want to maybe go there one day. Because from what I've heard, yeah, that's a great festival. Okay, what do I do? Maybe bishop c4. And then takes. Or just takes, alright. Grunger, what's up? Knight g5, h6 looks very good as well. Yeah, I mean, if you can't play in that open, just ask your parents, I don't know. I mean, 6.5 out of 7, you won't pretty much without any. I mean, of course, along the way you had some troubles, but overall 6.5 is a very solid result. Oh, 3 hours? Nah, that's good. Look, I'm going to Ottawa, and it's like here from Toronto, it's like 6 hours by bus, 5 hours by train, and you only have to go like 3 hours. That's like not too bad. All right, let me pull up analysis tab. Yeah, give me a sec. I'll open it up. No, believe here we have, yeah, we have great connection as well, but everything is just a bit too far. Give me a sec. We should move in an hour. All right. Here's your message. Pretty much in whole Europe, nothing is too far, you know. So it's like you can go anywhere without any troubles. You don't need visa, so you're in a very good spot. All right, let's see. You're playing with black. Yeah, let's see. Okay, 4. You play Carokann. Knight f3 d5 takes. Oh, he for real takes. Yeah, I believe he takes d5 is not even, you know, that. I mean, it's quality probably momentarily. Like at this point, I wouldn't even worry for black, because he could play everything. He could play, I don't know, advanced variation against you. He could play like 2 knights at least. Like, go knight c3. No, I mean, e takes d5 is already a move that I really like from black side. Because it already means that white probably don't know a lot of stuff. kd4, yeah, I mean that's fine. Knight f6, knight c3, and yeah, get in exchange. Exchange Caro, knight c6. Yeah, I mean you're already better. So I'm not sure exactly, like, let's say after h3, like, do you have to take it? Because yeah, you might actually worry about something like this in the future, but yeah, maybe it doesn't matter. You'll have to take. Oh yeah, I saw the timing. Yeah. H7, alright. Okay, I'm not sure. Bishop d6 and bishop e7. Yeah, right. Solid. My knight is on c3 or f3. Makes sense. Makes sense. Let's see. Castle, castle. Rook e1. I don't like a5. I don't like a5. Like, what's the idea? I can tell you that a5 is a terrible move. Oh, before, but before is never his idea. Like, and what's the idea of before? To open c file for you, to go bishop b2? Minority attack? Nah, he doesn't have anything. Before he weakens c4. b4 is never an option here for white. If you want to prevent b4, go rook c8. If you don't want him to play b4. You wanted to play. No, but first of all, after a5, I mean, he can play a4. And you never go b5. And knight b5, I mean, no, a5 is a terrible move. Like, a5 is, like, usually, I mean, a6 is a lot better than a5. No, but if you want to prevent b4, rook c8. Now b4 is not an option because you take. No, a6 b5 of course would be probably a lot better than a5. I mean, I would play a6 b5, but if you want to prevent b4, I would play rook c8. I just, okay, I mean, b4 is never an option, and you just not rush with it. Like, okay, they're just, like, you know, standing here. Like, what's the problem? No, a5 is. Nah, a5, I just don't like it because, first of all, of course, b5 square, then a4 knight b5. Nah, look. Before, I don't even, like, honestly, I don't understand the idea. After b4, let's say if he plays something like, I don't know, what he can play. He can play before here, right? First of all, there is a plan, knight d7, knight b6, knight c4. Yeah, of course. Because the only side you will play is queen side, and b4 just weakens everything. Yeah, Grunger is right, because... Yeah, I mean, c4 square is just like a huge hole for black to use. Yeah, just rook c8 on attacking on c file. And generally, when white played b4, you also weaken up c2 pawn. And, you know, this will become a problem. Because white cannot do anything here. They try to push one of these pawns, either this one will fall if b5, knight a5, knight c4. There are no attacks, nothing. But that's okay, like, you know, the more you play, the more you will understand, like, these little details. But yeah, a5 is something that... Alright, knight e2. Yeah, I mean, and he basically let you play what you initially planned. No, but you will attack. Just go rook c8. And then you can play 6b5. Yeah, but he played knight e2, allowing you to play b5. So yeah, basically your plan worked perfectly. The only thing is of course he could have played stronger. Just, yeah, I would play a4. I could play also knight b5 immediately. But yeah, knight b5 there is a4, so that's good for black. No, but again, like queen b6. Yeah, I mean, c3 is generally like a good move to, you know, create the pawn chain, but I don't think in this case it is something significant. Alright, c3. Yeah, now you will have minority attack on the queen side. Queen b6, h6. Okay, I mean, computer says a4. King c2 takes, and then rook f c8. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because then c3 pawn is very weak. a4, king c2, knight a5, knight b3. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, now exactly, like he got this bad pawn structure. Rook b8, rook d2, king h2. Ah, knight g4. Again, I don't like knight g4. I mean, you're trying to trade pieces of the board, like. Computer says g5, bishop g3, h5. And it turns out that this bishop is in a lot of trouble. No, I'm not analyzing only Buster's game, because nobody joined yet. Yeah, I mean, knight g1 is what computer showing is ridiculous. No, the Buster just has to analyze the game. I want to analyze my own games. Alright, knight g1, h4, bishop c7, rook b7, or knight e8. Yeah, but this like dark squares here. That's horrible. That's honestly horrible. Yeah, knight e8 and bishop b5, f6. Oh my goodness, and this bishop is trapped. But alright, knight g4. Bishop g4, bishop h4. Okay, here technically, you know, if white play very carefully, it is a draw. Yeah, of course, it is a draw. Yeah, knight g4, simple trading operation, but in my opinion, you shouldn't play it. After all, this bishop is terrible. And g5, bishop g3, h5 makes sense, because h4 now is not played because of g4. And of course, now it's very hard to play. Like, what's next move? It's very hard to keep this bishop on the board. Like, h4 is a serious threat. And then knight e8. Okay, rook a2, king f8, rook a6, knight e8, f4. Nah, I mean, you won the game? Yeah, you won the game, but I'm okay, that will be very interesting to see. Okay, rook b2, you offered him a draw. Ich bitte mich. Rook b2. I'm not sure what white can even blunder unless you play h5 and then play bishop h3 and they blunder knight, but there's no way this happened. Alright, rook b7, rook c7. And he even... Oh, but the problem is he lost an exchange. So what happened is you just trapped his rook. Yeah, sir, of course, man. Какие успехи, Виктор? Да никаких. Никаких успехов. Играем в шахматы, пытаемся стать лучше, но не получается. Yeah, but that's crazy. Like, you basically set up a trap and he got into it. Oh my goodness, he basically lost in one move. Yeah, so you can send it right now as well. I can take a look at that. Gambit, I just woke up. What's this whole thing, man? If you think it's funny, it's not. Alright, king c6 and... Yeah, I mean, good job. No way you turned out Gambit. Oh... Oh my goodness. Tough. Very tough. Nah, but I'm tired to deal with Gambit. It's just like every single time it's something. I'm not sure. No, part of it he's just making, you know, he's trolling, but I don't know, just it's hard. Like, I'm sure he's the only one like that. He's trolling, he thinks it's fun, but I'm always trying to like tell him that Camlet, stop it. That's fine. He'll be back anyways. Like, yeah, honestly, solid game. What's the accuracy? I believe it's 90, probably. Yeah, 91. Yeah, that's good. And the final position is actually not that winning. After x5, h5. Here, I believe white still have chances. Of course, they're not probably playing for a win, but you never know, like c4, d5 in the future. No, honestly, I would continue playing this with white pieces. Because, I mean, exchange for a pawn, there's still a chance. Like, I can't say it's huge, but... Thunder only from one side. Yeah, I mean, black probably have better chances just to go rook a7 and try to slide the rook to the second rank. The weaknesses principle. No, the problem is, let's say, knight f4 and I want to push c4 d5. I don't think you can stop me from doing it. Like, you can go maybe, I don't know, knight d8, let's say. Okay, computer says, okay, let's go knight d8. Like, knight d8 is already something the computer doesn't really like. Bishop f8, king d7, and now, what if I play c4? Okay, c4, apparently knight c6. There is h5, g5, and now c4. Okay, 7. And I'm not sure, it looks playable. It looks good for white. Like, there's still worse, but at least this is something that can be played. Because c4 d5 is basically the only active plan white have. I'm not sure what was that. Maybe someone followed. Appreciate it. Blunder, what's up? Welcome. Okay, guys, but today I wanted actually to take a look at, because many of you have been asking me, like, what should we play? Like, as white, let's say, or as black. And I think there is, like, oh man, what is this? There is a great opening for white pieces. Let me first. Yeah, that's great that you're playing OTB, because some of the people actually only play online, which I tell people, you know, they should try playing over the board as chess as well. Okay, 4. Knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, castle, knight f6. And here's where fun starts. And what I would suggest people play here specifically is the move d4. And let's put it like this. Exciting Gambit, actually. And I believe on, let's say, level between 1000 and 2000. Outgringer, why do you want to spoil fun? What do you want to do? Two. 46. I mean, you can play, you know, 46 as well. So this is just to prevent d4. No, d6 is a move. Yeah, and that's the move I dealt a lot myself as well. Yeah, honestly, here I would just play maybe h3 just to prevent bishop g4 from happening. And yes, you get very calm Italian. And here's not much I can recommend for white, because yeah, you just get very simple Italian game. Can play d3, trying to get this, or instead of d3, just I want to keep this bishop somehow. Maybe play c3. c3 now you have to deal with knight e4. Takes, takes. Alright, Buster, have fun at school. King f2, knight d4. Nah, but that's just insane. Like what I'm seeing right now. You know what's the best? Ah, you see. Yeah, for knight f6 exactly. Like it's automatic move. Like people would go for it basically on any level. And of course, you're taught to castle and not to move pawns, so knight f6 is logical in terms of like you develop your piece, you want to go castle on next move. So this move makes a lot of sense. Grip, welcome. And let's put it plus. White has a slight advantage. Yeah, for d6, we can make a comment. This is the move to get a very boring Italian. Can't recommend much. No, I'm not playing viewers right now. Not playing viewers. We might do it later today. So yes, d4. And now if, let's say, black don't know what to play, they'll be in huge trouble. Because I believe if black have no idea what's the main move here, that will collapse very quickly. And d4 works as a good surprise. Because usually people expect, yeah, like moves like d3, let's say, or moves like rook e1. Yeah, but d3 is of course the main one. But yeah, g4. And yeah, you see on the right screen, maybe we can turn the analysis off. I just want to test you guys. So you already saw the main move. The main move is bishop d4. So what happens after e takes d4? I think e takes d4 is the move which most people will play, and most of the time you will probably win very easily. Yeah, e5. Exactly. And now there is only one good move. All knight moves are actually bad, because all of them probably will lose. Yeah, there is knight g4, which more or less, you know, is, I mean, it's still terrible because white have a very huge advantage. Let's say knight d4. Let's just analyze side lines first. There is rook e1. I think queen e2 is slightly better, and black can simply resign. There is f5, but you can just take, and d5 I believe you have to take g7. It's very hard, so I believe this one is just plus minus. Yeah, d5. Knight g4, attacking the pawn. Here white plays c3, and the question right now is you can't really take on e5, because after takes you'll go to q1, pinning the knight on e file. What if black plays d5? Wait, when? On first move? No, Besser will get to d5, because d5 is the main line. I just wanted show you what happens after all this different knight maneuvers. So rook e1, and here black can resign again. Attack, and it's a win. So knight e4, knight g4 is analyzed. Knight g4, c3, there is takes. And after takes, you'll play bishop f7, king f7, queen d5, king f8 or king e8, king c5, king e7. And I believe one of the best moves here is to actually take on the 7 and simply play knight c3. And because of a huge development advantage, white are a lot better. Webster, where can you send me the game? I don't think YouTube will allow you to paste the whole PGM. Yeah, but the best would be probably to play queen c3 and keep queens on the board. And again, huge advantage for white pieces. Knight e4 is just bad move. So e5. Alright, Buster. Tomorrow bullet brawl. Probably will play some tops. d5. Main move. Best move by far. And let's make it the main line. For now. Oh yeah, I played Hikaru, I played Magnus as well. But I lost to Magnus the second game. Yeah, I didn't really have chances. Against Hikaru I had great position, but yeah, against Hikaru again, you know, I could have crushed him. Like I had an extra pawn, and then I just blundered everything away. It was kind of painful, you know. But that's fine. You know, we're here for content. Yeah, Hikaru got lucky. Alright, Buster, have fun. So, here, d5 the main move, you take on f6. Chess is too confusing? I don't think so. Now, of course, black take the piece back. Mandip. You know, I'm always here for you. Always here. You know, more tips are coming, man. Warum? Lezak. Ich verstehe everything. After g takes e4, rook e1 check. So moves like king f8 don't really work because you play bishop g5 and white get a very good advantage. If I'm not mistaken. Okay, plus. Yeah, man, more content is coming, believe me. More content. Yeah, Buster, have a great weekend. What can we... rook e1, bishop e6 is the main move, of course. Now computer likes f takes g7, but I would go knight g5. Attacking the bishop on e6. And it's very interesting here, because one of the most popular moves is actually queen f6, which a lot of people would play. But queen f6 is losing by force. Because now white play knight f6, f takes e6, queen h5, and it's double attack on the king and on the bishop. Where is this, the bishop? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And white are completely winning. Knight g5, the main move is king d5. G takes f6, once again loses for the same reason. Takes, queen h5, and once again, this is a double attack and it's a win. Knight g5. The main move is king d5, and that's the move that I believe will only be played if people know their theory. And I believe it will only be played on level above 2000 unless they're cheating. Of course, then they will find this move. Knight c3. It looks like we give up a knight, but king d5, and there is a pin on the file, so they can't really take. The best move is now queen f5, and now knight goes to e4. And again, there are not too many moves that can be played. Let's say they go g takes f6, you play g4, and after queen g6, you just win a piece by playing knight c5. And again, black have too many pawns, but you have an extra piece. The position is slightly better for white pieces. Knight c4, knight c4, castle is the main move. And now, again, the best move is to play g4. The idea of g4 is simple. If now takes, you'll take, and play knight f7 and win an exchange. The position is slightly better. Castle g4, now queen goes c5. And it again becomes very exciting. White go knight e6, f takes e6, queen e6 again, you'll just lose a piece. Or you can play, let's say, f takes g7, rook g8, knight c5. Do it this way. Actually, what's best? I just want to check. Yeah, f takes g7, this, and knight c5. That's best. After queen e5, knight e6, f takes e6, f takes g7, rook g8, and bishop h6. Again, this is a very sharp line, but I don't think people above 2000 will get here. F takes g7, rook h8, bishop h6, d5, opening up a bishop here. It looks dangerous, but at the same time, it's not that bad for white. c5. Yeah, now a5 is just the move that... What is the logical move here for white? I'm just trying to understand. Maybe bishop b6 to get the bishop out of attack, but then white go queen f3. And the best move here is actually to sacrifice an exchange. And again, white have very good advantage. I'm ready, welcome. Queen f5, main move. Knight e6, f takes 6. Yeah, that's probably it for this specific line. Queen f5, knight e4. I'm just trying to see what else black can play that we might miss. Yeah, that looks like the main line. So this is what happens after he takes e4. Is 8 rook e1 necessary? This check? I believe yes. But like, what, you wanna play f takes g7 first immediately? Because rook e1 is best. Like, you wanna maybe get the king to the side or to make them play bishop e6. I believe you can't really play without rook e1. Let's say queen e2, bishop e6. F takes g7, it's not that bad, but... You can play f take g7 as an alternative. Okay, you send me. Alright. Okay, let's go, Whipster. Give me a sec. And thanks again for the super chat. Appreciate it, man. You don't have to, man. Just send a message. I'm telling you, never do it. Yeah, Rook E1 is an old move, but at the same time, I think it's slightly better than f take g7, in my opinion. Again, yes, Rook G8, Bishop G5, and Bishop E7. Actually, yeah, it can be probably be played as well. This Bishop E6 takes, and now King E7 is best. But I think you just trade too many pieces of the board. Jani, we're not doing the guest Elo. I'm not doing guest Elo. Again, can be played, but yeah, exactly. If they know what they're doing, but I believe that that's why you gotta play. We don't have to, man. Please, you know, just watch the content. That's the best thing you can do. But again, like, how can black lose quickly? Because Rook E1, why this move is being played is after Bishop E6, Knight G5, many people just play Queen F6 or G takes F6, which is of course immediately losing. I won such games, you know, with the board chess when I was like maybe 12 or 13 years old. You know, I found this Gambit, I played it, and I won like at least couple of people. Some people got prepared to me, and I had a lot of problems because I didn't learn that much, but I still were able to win some of the games. No, but I'm telling you, you know how one of the games finished? Knight E6, f takes E6. I was playing against a girl, so we were like maybe 13 years old, both of us, in a serious tournament. Queen H5, and she went for G6. I played Queen C5, and she castled, and I played Bishop G5, and she resigned. Basically, I won in 14 moves. Okay, 13. I believe Rook E1 is a lot more tricky. Okay, guys, let me open another analysis tab. I got a game messages. Alright. It was classical, 1 hour with increments. Alright, let's see. You were with white. Then we'll get back to our opening analysis. Alright. Our viewers playing with white pieces. Let's see. D4. Good. D5 and Jabava London. Alright, that's what we discussed during the last stream. Bishop F5. And he's kind of playing a London system reversed. Bishop F4. Knight F6. E3. Yeah, that's all good. E6. A3. Yeah, that's usually the smartest idea to prevent Bishop B4 from happening. C5. Knight B5. That's right. Knight A6. C3. So far, good setup for white. C4. Yeah, C4 is slightly annoying, I would say. Still, it's very hard to get this knight away from b5 square, because at any point you can play a4. But they're basically saying that at some point queen b6 will follow anyways. So their idea is basically to play knight h5 at some point, of course not right away, because queen h5. Play knight h5, get the bishop out of the way, and then try to chase this knight. h3. Yes, that's the move to make. Queen b6. Again, a4. That's right. Bishop goes to e7. For some reason, computer likes the idea of going rook c8, then going knight b8, and then going a6, which makes a lot of sense. But again, it's yeah, computer doesn't even care. Like rook c8, knight f3, knight b8, and a6 is coming. And as I said, this pawn is a huge trouble, and c4 move is slightly annoying because you can't really push e4 at any point. And yeah, I actually like black position here. If they were to play this move, then it would be great. But of course, it's a hard idea to find unless you know it. Bishop e7, knight f3, castle, knight e5. So you know, it reminds me of regular. Alright, Grunger, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Have a great upcoming weekend. It reminds me of regular London system because I myself play London system a lot sometimes, and I played it in my childhood. I can show you some of the lines. Actually, you can play London system, and you know, there are some tricky lines, but you know, there are also lines like this where there's bishop on f5, the early bishop on f5 development, and generally black have no troubles. And again, this is something that you gotta know how to respond with white pieces, because it's really hard to play sometimes. And I actually lost very important games in London system because people developed their bishop to f5, and I had a lot of problems defending b2 pawn on the queen side. Alright, rook goes to c8. And now, yes, you go for it. That's good. Bishop b4, after bishop g6, g5. Yeah, I don't like g5. I don't like g5. G5 is probably... I'm not sure why you don't play h4. Because there is a huge difference between h4 and g5. You play h4, and if they prevent h5, you can play g5, and it's a huge advantage for you. And right now also, if knight goes away, you go and fork it. You're up in exchange. At the same time, you play g5 immediately, and now knight h5, you probably thought, yeah, I'm going to take an exchange, but nah, they take this bishop, then they go and try to attack it. The pawn structure is just a lot worse. Knight h5, yes. Knight e7. And also, this is a huge problem. And computer actually thinks you're worse. Yeah, so h4 is a must play move. h4, and they gotta deal with this bishop right now. And you wanna play h5. And if they play h6 or h5, that's just terrible. You can take and go g5, you can go g5 right away, play knight d7. Huge advantage for white. Yeah, I'm just trying to understand like what black can do here. And there is not really much. Alright, you went for this. Knight d7, queen d8, knight f8. Okay, for some reason queen a5 is better, but again, it's computer. I don't even understand what's the idea of queen a5, but not queen d8. Doesn't make a huge difference to me. And now you took the pawn on a7. Okay, rook e8, knight b5, knight f4 takes, knight c7. Yes, I don't like this. I really don't like this. Yeah, now you're just worse. Despite white being up in exchange, I believe this should be almost a lost position. Strategically, a lost position. Because once this pawn falls, this will be a huge problem. The bishop will just come and go for the chaos. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't play this position with white. It's very hard. Let's see what he did. Rook g1. Yeah, he took the pawn. Rook g4, queen f5. Bishop goes to e2. Bishop h5, rook g1. Oh my goodness. Took all the pawns. Yeah, it becomes very hard to play with white pieces. Bishop e7, queen f4. So, bishop e7 is the move that I don't really understand. Like, what's the point of it? That's why computer doesn't even like it. Because now queen f4 and this bishop no longer goes this way. Yeah, I'm not sure why bishop d6 wasn't played on the board. Like, you get the bishop on the active diagonal. Castle is never an option, because attack on a file will be just insane. The skin is stuck in the center forever. Yeah, bishop d6, and it looks, I can't say hopeless, but I just don't see good moves for white pieces. I don't even understand how white would play. Computer says queen f3. I believe at some point you need to go something like king d2, but king d2, there is like queen h4, bishop f4 ideas all the time. Or after queen f3 they can go rook e8 and then e5. Play in the center. Yeah, but bishop e7, now you play queen f4, and now bishop d6 is no longer an option. Rook c8, again, move that I don't really understand. Maybe rook c6, bishop d6 is the idea, but rook c6 you also have queen b8. Bishop will have to go to f8, and now you're more or less fine. Okay, castle, bishop g6. You know, even though computer is saying that's equal right now, nah, that looks horrible. Because you will have to move your king eventually to d2 and try to escape it. Oh my goodness. Bishop f1, and now he trade queens. Yeah, he was probably scared that there are some ideas with, let's say, but he can't play bishop g2 because this pawn is under attack, and he can't play bishop e2, rook h1 because this pawn is always hanging, right? Queen h5, he might even go h6 at some point. Yeah, open g file, but you have bishop g5 idea. f6. Okay, king d2. Yeah, now you're kind of out of trouble, but still very tough to play. Rook e8, rook a1, b5. Ah, rook d2. That's what was the plan. Yeah, let me try to find what's. Yeah, let's try to calculate. Queen h5, rook d2. Queen h5, rook d2. Can I not play h6? h6 looks like an option, no? Queen h5, rook d2, h6. Yeah, we'll check with computer right now, but I'm trying to calculate h6. Also, there might be some a5. Nah. 5 looks bad. Yeah, queen h5, rook d2, I go h6. She takes h6, she takes h6. And then there are a couple of things that queen cannot move from f4. Because then you can go queen f5, queen b1. So bishop g5 becomes a very serious threat. Queen g3 afterwards. Yeah, queen f5. Yeah, looks like queen h5, rook d2, h6. Yeah, it's not the best move actually, but still playable. Computer says bishop f5. But I like h6 more. And now if takes, king g4. Oh, but now I can just take rook g4, bishop g5, f4, bishop f5 though, bishop g4. Nah, I mean b4 is not playable. Black are still slightly better here. Still slightly better. Bishop f1, king f5, takes, king d2, f6, f4, takes, rook a8. That's where we stopped. Did you play a5? Yes. Rook a6, he blocked, he wants to go bishop d8, bishop a5, rook a5. b4. Yeah, that's a great resource. Yeah, that's great. Now he can't take, bishop b5 is coming. Oh, he took. Yeah, but now white are slightly better. Just because you got this a pawn. Ah, you took. Wait. Why did you take it though? Nah, wait. Why did you take bishop on f5? You understand you played bishop e6 in the middle, right? Somewhere. Yeah, so time pressure. Because I believe rook a2 is almost an automatic move. Unless, of course, you're calculating something like, let's say this, which I can understand. What's the best move here, actually? Rook g5 is best. Oh, I almost forgot. Bishop d3, now you take on b2. Yeah, because king c2 is the first move I calculated, and I was like, alright, bishop c1. And what do I have to do? But yeah, apparently I can just take on g5. Oh, no way. No way. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a chaotic game. So yeah, now you had to play king d3, and if b takes a1, bishop e6 in between move. And I believe you somehow should be able to make a draw. Yeah, but that's on king c2. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it looks logical, but because of b takes a1, he takes a5. Oh my goodness, and yeah, and he resigned. Who was the opponent you played against? Generally a very solid game. Like you said, it was some 1600? I believe on Wednesday you said it was some 1600. No, but I mean, I really like this game. Yeah, they can feel it. It's very underrated. Yeah, he played well. 1880, 1600. Yeah, for 1600, that's a solid game. Yeah, he played really well. Like, he found all the tactics. Yeah, but how old is he? Like some kid? Because yeah, he's 1600, but he plays really well for someone who's, yeah, and of course, but I'm looking at this game like, look, I'm 2180 and it's 23. That means he didn't play a lot. No, because that's a very solid game. Like, yeah, he could have played better. Like, again, let's say here bishop e7, something I don't really understand, which made you come back in this game. Because yeah, after bishop d6 you're paralyzed. You have no moves. And again, I have nothing against, like, yeah, I didn't see the game, but on Wednesday, I told you not to play, let's say, g4 f3. So what I was referring to is, let's say, systems like d4, knight f6, bishop f4, something like, let's say, a6, and here white like doing something like f3. Like, that's not the best thing. Yeah, of course you should play Jabal London, of course. I thought you were referring to something like this, because people play these lines, and it's very sharp, and here I have to know a lot. I'm not even sure if the line goes like this. But what you had in the game yourself, I mean, overall that's a great position for white. It's just like, I don't like g5. Like, g5 is the move that, yeah, exactly, I wouldn't play g5 here. Like, because I just don't like, because knight h5, I want to keep this bishop on the board. Because yeah, you want an exchange, but this bishop is a monster. Yeah, no, it's part of it is, of course, you want to take material and then deal with it somehow. But the problem here is, of course, you have a bad pawn structure, and it kind of, everything just falls. Everything collapses right away. But yeah, you got a great setup here. I mean, great setup. And yeah, h4 is something that just, yeah, I would never play g5. Yeah, h4, and he has to deal with a lot of problems. I mean, g5 is the critical move of the game. Of course, of course. No, but the problem is you're still threatened to take an exchange here. And you want to go h5. I'm not sure if he would have played knight b8, which is computer best option, but all other moves just, they're all bad. Like, this bishop is a problem now. As I said, h6 and h5 are both terrible moves. Because they give up control. At some point you go for e4, king h7, you go h5. This pawn is, you can't even protect it. Like, king f7, just h5. Yeah, g5 is the critical mistake. Basically the only bad move, and then yeah, you could save the game. You even had a better position, but still, it's very complicated. He almost allowed you to come back. Like, he played this rook a6, he played b4, he took on b5, and it almost looked like you were good, and then again, you know, one mistake and it's all over. Yeah, g5. And I think it's very typical for Jabava London as well, because g5, knight h5. Oh, I could, nah, I can relate to this. Yeah, bishop f5. Bishop f5 was not like a blunder. Then when you played king c2, oh, you see here, people suggest g5. g5 is not best, guys. Scepter g5. g5 is not best. g5 is what exactly was played in this game. And black are a lot better. Down, even though they're down in exchange. You see with certain people think g5. Actually, that's a great exercise. You know, I can put it somewhere, let's say on Instagram or on Facebook, and just, you know, make people find the best move. Oh, a5. a5, you just want to give up your knight on b5. You know what, I'll post it on Facebook and just, I want to see how many people will say g5 is best. Because I believe everyone will say g5 is best. Almost everyone. Because this is the move I'll never play. But h4 is something that comes to mind first. And yeah, people gotta understand that this is actually knight of fate, bishop of fate. Yeah, now you should have kept your bishop on the board. Like, that was task number one. But yeah, you wanted also to protect this pawn. And it's understandable. Knight of 4 here was a lot better. Yeah, once he took it, it's really hard to play. No, g5 is not losing. g5 is equal. But I would rather play this position with black pieces. I would rather play this position with black pieces than with white. It's not losing, but it's very unpleasant. But of course, h4 is a lot better. But knight c7, you don't really have a choice. But yeah, knight c7 is of course horrible. But you don't have a choice really. Like, then anyways, I want to trade the knight. What's the second move after h4? Like here? Here specifically, it's hard to play. Like, you can suggest some moves, Captor, if you want. Because now the best move is knight b8. But knight b8, I don't think someone who's rated 1600 will play it. Unless they play it because they can't find any other moves. But I believe they would either play h6 or h5 trying to save this bishop. Because if they give up a pawn, then again, very tough. Yeah, that's a great exercise for many people. I'll try to make people solve it. Yeah, if h4, Yeah, exactly. Like you want to play either h6 or h5. But now the problem of both moves, let's say h5, you now go g5, and then you can play knight d7, take an exchange, and you're a lot better. And if h6, this pawn on g6 becomes a problem that you need to defend somehow. And again, white are a lot better here. It's not all over, because let's say h4, like let's say how computers suggest this, takes, but g5, oh my goodness, that looks horrible. a6, and now you can play a5 because this protects. Yeah, this actually looks over. Yeah, I would be upset as well. Like, I'm looking at them like, no, but the problem is after g5, I would realize that, yeah, I might win an exchange. That's right, but the problem is I have weak dark squares along the way. No, here exactly, yes. I wanna, after h6, I don't really wanna push h5, because this bishop will just go back. Or I don't wanna push g5, because again, g5, there is knight h5. Yeah, white are better, but it's like not a huge advantage. Stockfish, we're analyzing different games today. Actually, let me show you maybe the game I played not long ago, like a month ago, in London system. I was playing against 1700. Let me pull that up. So I was playing with black pieces. Oh, what's up? German Cup final. Yeah, of course, keep your advantage, because then you can either take an exchange, but you take it with a better position, or you just let's mail and blitz on chess.com 2600. Alright, let's go. So I played against 1750. Nah, Shashank, we don't have tournament today. Today I'm analyzing my games, and we are also analyzing the opening. Okay, let's... Yeah, Whipster. I mean, that's disappointing loss, but... I have a title, of course. I mean, it's not a FIDE title, just National Master. Bishop f4, I go d5. Yeah, Whipster, if you wanted to quit Jabal London just because of this game, nah. Because you basically played only one bad move, and it was g5. Nah, but if you think that's disappointing, I can show you the game. Okay, I'll show first this one in London system. That's a great setup for black. e3, e6, knight d2, c5, c3, knight c6, and bishop d6. Bishop g3, I go castle, bishop d3, all main moves, b6, and white went for knight e5. And generally, knight e5 is slightly annoying. Knight e5 is slightly annoying, but there is a great setup for black pieces, which my coach showed me like many years ago. Shachespas, what's up? Welcome. Yeah, exactly. That's the way to get better, of course. But in Jabavland there are like a lot of different lines for both black and white that you need to know. Black go knight e7. The idea of knight e7 is you want to put your knight to e4, but do it through d6. So you go knight f5, you go bishop e7, you go knight d6, and then you place your knight to e4. Because generally here the idea that white have is to go f4, bishop f2, and then start harassing you on the king side. Bishop is active, so your idea is to put the knight on e4, and black are just right on time to do it. My opponent played f4, I go bishop e7, the idea is of course to go knight e4, white go queen f3, now go knight f5, and now bishop f2, bishop e7. Yes, white are trying to play g4, but now I'm right on time, knight d6, g5, knight e4. And it's an equal position. My opponent played castle, I go knight d6, bishop h4, trying to trade bishops off the board, I go knight e4, takes, queen e2, f6, chasing the knight away from e5, knight goes to g4, and now rook a8. And yeah, black got a good position, almost a dream position. And of course my opponent didn't really play well, and they managed to... It looked at this point that, you know, he might have some counterplay against c5 pawn, but, you know, I found... Actually, I want to turn the engine off, because there are some things to, you know, test you on. So knight f7, the idea is to push e5, or my idea was to play f5, and if knight goes back, I go e5, and I just push in the center. And I want to open up my bishop somehow. Let's say they do something this, knight f2, e5, takes, knight e5, and that's just a dream. f4, then f3 at some point. It's really hard to play this bishop. I have knight f3 ideas all along. Rook a1, f5, knight f2. Oh wait, that's exactly what happened? Yeah, instead of rook d1, of course, was played. g3. And after e takes f4, he played g takes f4, and I was really happy. So, what's the best move here? I mean, generally, black now have a clear plan. Once I saw g takes f4 on the board, I was really happy, because e takes f4 wasn't played. g3 is really bad move. I was calculating knight h3, because c takes f4, knight f4, or rook f4. But after g3, now they are forced to play g takes f4, and not e takes f4, because e3 is coming. So what happens after g takes f4? Now it's time for some testing. Knight g5. Knight g5 draw might be slightly, you know, optimistic. I understand your idea, you want to go for checkmate ideas, but nah, you don't have to sacrifice a piece. Chess mastery, yes. Yeah, that's exactly what I played. That's exactly what I played on the board. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok gave their answers, and they have the right ideas. It's time for Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, exactly, chess mastery. That is crushing. Yeah, I'm showing you the move. g5. Yeah, I played g5 and it looks honestly almost lost. But now that's where things getting very interesting. So white go knight h3, and again I played king h8. Alright, I was like rook goes to h8. I open g file. That's all good. King h1, and that's where I started thinking of different things I had, and I decided to play g4. G4 is actually best. But after knight f2, so that's where again I want to test you, because I spent a while, I found the right idea, but I, you know, executed it a little bit different from what computer wants it to make. So I did it in a slightly different way, but I got the kind of same setup on the board. So what's the plan here for black? Like, how do you wanna continue? Let's see. Because what I was calculating here, the best move was rook g8. Wait, queen h3, you mean queen h4? Rook e6? No, it's not best. It's not best. So the best move here is rook g8. Queen h4 is not the best move, guys. I was calculating queen h4. I believe rook g1 and rook g3 makes just a lot of. I just didn't see how you will continue. You can go rook e6, alright. I believe I can simply go rook g2, rook h6, king g1, and then knight goes to h1, g3. And white can actually hope for a better result and not a loss. So the best move is rook g8. But you know what's the best move after rook g8? And that's the move that I saw, was king g1. That's insane. But there was a clear idea. But I wanna, again, queen h4 is not best. Try to look for something better. I'll give you a hint. You wanna activate your bishop somehow. And here, the only way you can activate is to sacrifice something. Wait, move knight where? To h1. Knight g5 or knight d5? Nope. No, that's, again, after f4. Yeah, knight d5. I don't necessarily have to take it, right? Or knight g5 after g5 f4. I'm just thinking I'll play e takes f4, and after e3 I go king g1. You don't have much. Let's say knight g5 takes f4, takes f3, king g1, takes. You sacrifice material, but are you winning? I don't think so. The queen cannot come to e4. It's really hard. Why is the best move for white to move the king to g1? Alright, rook g8, king g1. The point is after g3. Oh wait, is it here? Ah, no. So rook. So after. Yeah, rook g8. Yeah, not king g1. The best is actually rook g1. King g1. Yeah, for some reason I thought it's. Yeah, I just mixed the lines. My apologies. Yeah, the idea is to move the knight to h1. That's the idea. But it doesn't work here. So yeah, guys, you probably saw the move. I played knight d8. And here king g1 was passed. Yeah, I just mixed the lines. So knight d8. The idea is to play knight d6 and knight f4. And it just looks horrible for white. The problem is, I saw the best move, which was king g1, but I was like, no way white can play it. And you know why rook g8 was better? Because you want to play g3, and now after rook g1, knight d8 is slightly better, because knight d6, knight f4, and king cannot go to g1. But the problem is, after knight d8 he could go knight king g1, and now knight d6, knight f4 is not that that good. Like, computer says minus 0.9, while after rook g8. Oh wait, computer now says my move is best. What the heck? I thought rook g8 is best. And now knight d8. That's what I. Oh yeah, computer didn't even see it. So yeah, now black are just crushing, and that's a lot better. -2. Yeah, like knight d4 exactly. That's one of the ideas as well. No, but knight f4 is main one. So yeah, rook g8 is best. Computer didn't even see it for a while. But that was best. To provoke rook g1 move, and then you play knight d8, knight d6. But I spent some time and I played knight d8, and the best move, as you now see on the right side, is king g1. And somehow, you know, white are holding knight a6, knight h1, and knight goes to g3. Knight f4 is not playable because rook f4. Knight d4, you can argue that it is playable, but it's not that good for black. Yeah, again, it's classical chess, but knight d8 move is. I spent a bunch of time analyzing this position, and I was like, alright, I found knight d8. I was very proud of myself because, yeah, backward move, and the idea of knight a6, knight f4 is like, you know, after the game I realized I had the right idea, but rook g8, rook g1, knight d8 was the right execution. But I still believe knight d8 is a very strong move. He played knight b1. He wanted his knight to go to d5. And after knight b1, I calculated the line and we got the position. Just mastery, thanks to the follow. Appreciate it. So at this point, I calculated the whole line and it all happened on the board till move 35. So till move 35, so that's move 28. So I calculated 7 moves ahead. Because the critical line here is what happened on the board. I go knight a6. My idea is to go knight f4. He goes knight c3. Oh, he actually didn't go for it. Oh, I didn't go for it either. I go rook g8 first. So now I provoke. Now I want to go g3. That's exactly why it was different. And here king g2 was the best. Yeah, that's where it was interesting. And I have no, like, good options. Yeah, I can go knight to6, but now knight h1, and I can't take on f4. Even play knight d4, but you know, it's a bit tough to play it, because yeah, you sacrifice a piece, your pawns are strong, but do you really want to go for the sack? I don't know. Yeah, you have ideas of going e3, then queen f4, probably very, very annoying, but computer is holding it. I'm not sure if white could have holded it, but rook g1 was played. And now I'm actually in a winning spot. Knight e6. The idea is, of course, to go for knight f4, and then e3, he goes knight c3. And that's where it's all bad, because knight f4 takes, e3, he blocks. So what's the best move here for... Oh, let me show you. That's why I played rook g8 first. So let's say I don't play rook g8, I go knight e6 immediately. He plays knight c3, and after knight f4, takes c3, knight d5. If I take on f2, it's not that good, because takes, and rook f2. And I believe white are holding this. Yes, they are holding it. The position is still annoying, but at least it's not that bad. Why I played rook g8 is now rook goes to g1. And we get the same line, knight e6, knight c3, knight f4, takes c3, knight e5. But now I play e takes f2. And this rook is under attack. While in the line I just showed you, e takes f2, the rook was still on f1. So I changed the move order slightly, and now I'm completely winning. Because now this is under attack. He has to take this way and not this way, because I'll take on g1 in between. So he goes queen f2, and now I win pawn on c4. And now this bishop is an absolute monster. Yeah, with the tempo, exactly. And now black are completely winning. And so from then on, I just had no problems. I go queen e2, I'm trading queens of the board, rook g3, rook d8, rook d3, bishop a6, rook c3, rook a2. There were still some tricks though. Let's see, bishop e2, rook d4, this, rook g2, rook h2, knight e7. So that's the first trick. I'm still winning. He gives up a rook. So he was very low on time at that point, and knight 7 is a nice trick. But I was winning even after that, but I decided to not give him any chance. But the idea here was that knight f5, king f6, knight d4, and somehow, alright, still playable for white. But I was like, I don't want to give him any counterplay, I go rook e8. The idea is that after knight f5, I think I'm just checkmating him, king f2, rook e2, king g3, rook g2. So he goes rook e5. His idea is now knight g6. You see, there are still some tricks. I go g3. The point is, after knight g6, which he played, I go king g7. I don't react. Luis, what's up? I don't react. I could take as well, maybe not, but king g7 is just a move to make it, you know, just win immediately. Because if he takes, rook h1 is a checkmate. Ah, no, it's not brilliant. Because he doesn't win any material. Oh, you mean king g7? King g7 is brilliant. I mean, I'm winning by too much. Like, it's super winning. So he goes rook g7 check, and now I go king h6. Don't take on g6, because I think there could be some draw, I believe. But if I take on g6, still winning probably, right? Yeah, rook g6, I just go king h5. Rook f5, I go king g4. But I was like, alright, king h6 is much nicer. Why not take the knight? Like, immediately, yeah, still winning, but you know, why would I do it? Because like I saw king g7 and threatened checkmate, right? He can't take. Rook d7, king h6, he has no checks, and I'm again threatening checkmate. Avoid complications? Nah, I mean, you're taking the knight, I don't think you're avoiding complications. King g7 is to avoid complications. Because you have threat on h1, and you attack the knight, and if rook d7, again, king h6 and no checks. I think I avoided complications. Well, after h takes g6, I have to calculate rook e8, rook d7. Like, that's actually where complications might arise. Because let's say this, king g7, rook d7, let's say if I... This is a checkmate. Of course, I don't have to go this way, but king f6, I believe this is what called complications. Yeah, I used the knight for... Yeah, now of course you'll be winning, but now knight is where, you know, yeah, the complications are over. Like, no, the game is just over. He played king e1, I go rook e2, takes, and now I just took a piece. I avoided complications. Rook d2, and of course, here he resigned. So yeah, I mean, absolutely great setup for black pieces. I believe I played with 96 accuracy in this game. And I know I met him the next day and he was like, man, I checked the game you played, like engine. And I'm like, oh, 93, alright. I thought it was higher, but fine. So yeah, one brilliant move I think was, yeah, knight f4. Ah, the knight and go king. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The complete. Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean that was the first game of the tournament. I won like this. I felt really good. Yeah, but 98 exactly. Like that's a great exercise. Because like computer thinks it's a mistake, but it's one of the main moves actually. Computer thinks it's a mistake, but it's the second move of the engine. Then the sack, yeah. Because you sit on the board and you're like, what should I do? What's the idea? And you're just trying to understand like, what should I play next? And then I'm thinking for at least 10 minutes, and I'm calculating rook g8, I'm calculating queen h4. I'm like, what should I do? And then suddenly I came up with knight d8, knight d6, knight f4 idea. And to me, all I had to calculate is obviously this line: knight c3, knight f4 takes, e3, knight d5, e takes f2, and after takes, I was like, how do I avoid this one? And then that's where rook g8 came to my mind. I wanted to promote g3. No, what's up? Yeah, and then it just happens to be like almost a winning move, because knight e6, now rook g1. I provoked this to happen, and knight e6. This is now under attack. And it's all lost. No, you're not playing in Canadian closed? Because I don't think I saw you in the list. Or maybe I'm just blind. Yeah, so I mean that was a great game. And then let's say I played it against a gem in last round. Now let me show you what I did in the last round, because I could resign on move. So it was the last game of the tournament. I was like, all right. I didn't feel well. The round before, I think I won my game. Yes, I won my game in round number 4. And in the last round, I'm facing one of the best Canadian gems. And at this point, I'm very confident. After knight f3, d6, bishop b5, I play bishop d7. Alright, that's fine. Takes, c4, knight f6, knight c3, g6, d4. Takes, knight d4. Here I'm supposed to play bishop g7. But because I haven't played a lot of chess recently, I play queen c7, which I think is not bad. Oh, I played in Ottawa like a month ago. I go and attack this pawn. So I completely mixed all the lines. So goes b3. Now I go queen a5. And after bishop d2, I play a move after which I can resign immediately. So I mixed the lines. I should play bishop g7, of course, to protect the knight. No, that was Ottawa March Open. Was it February Open? I think it's March Open. Last month. I played knight c6. And I played first and moves like without thinking. No, Chess Master, I'm originally from Russia. I came to Canada after I turned 18, after I graduated from high school back home. I played knight c6. No. And I immediately saw the move that white will play. Played knight d4, where? Oh, knight d4 here doesn't really work. I see what you mean, but we realized that it doesn't really work. Queen b1, and if you take bishop c3. That's what we discussed after the game. There are some lines with knight e4, but they don't work here. I played knight c6. I had 1 hour 34 minutes, 33 minutes on the clock, knight c6. And I was like, alright, I probably should go home at this point. Because next move, I can resign immediately. On this level, you know, the gem will destroy me in probably 100 out of 101 games. So what's the move here for white? I mean, it's easy to find, but it's just like... Yes, yes. Very painful. Ellie, what's up, man? Yeah, exactly. 95 is what happened. And I said at the board, I was like, should I resign right now or play it on? No, not knight b5. Knight b5 is not a problem. Knight b5, I go king d8 and it's fine. I'm not worried about this. Knight d5 and it's a lower. My queen is under attack. He's going to take this knight on f6. My pawn structure is damaged. No, but what, a6 wouldn't prevent the problem. Yeah, knight d5 and it was all over. So I played king d8, knight f6 takes, bishop c3. And he played very solid from now on. King c5. No, but now, again, like, can play probably bishop e3. Don't even have to. Knight c6 maybe. Or knight b5. The pawn structure is just awful. Like knight b5 probably. Knight c7 is a huge threat. Oh, knight c7 immediately. What we were talking about. Yeah, exactly. No, but even this position is very annoying. Yeah, but queen c5, knight c7. And then take. My position is playable. I don't think so. Looks like horror, yeah. No, I mean, I was seriously thinking of resigning right here. Because I was like, nah, no chance. My king is safe. Yeah, and then this beautiful d5 square. But the ending to this game is actually very, very beautiful. So let's analyze it a little bit. a6, castle, bishop g7, takes. King goes to d3. Yeah. Huge problem with d6. King e7, castle. And now we go for a forced line, queen d6, queen e4, bishop f6, takes, e5. So I didn't play queen c2 immediately because I was like, I don't want to do it. We discussed that. I was like queen a1 and Sean was like, alright, you should be happy if I play queen a1. The problem with queen a1 I think is the best move according to computer. Because even though it looks kind of bad for white, like they're going passive, but there are no problems whatsoever. My idea here was to play something like a5 and then, you know, go a4, trying to shake the queen side. You mean after knight takes f6? I believe it's +1. Plus 1.2. No, but at this level it's very hard mentally. Because, you know, I wanted to give a fight and I blunder and move. Basically on move what? On move 10. Yeah, that's a lot for gem. But it's not even about evaluation here. It's about the pawn structure I have. It's just horrible. So I played a5. I want to play a4. He goes rook e1. I go queen c2. Now I'm attacking the pawn. And that's where it gets interesting. h4. centimeters, yeah. So the idea of white is to go h5, h6, and checkmate me. One of the ideas here, guess what? To go king h2, king g3, king f4, king g5, king h6. Popular maneuver by Nigel Short. Like, the position is just very bad. Yeah, king walk, exactly. That's a dead maneuver. So I went for h5, I just don't want it to happen. And again, pam 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 pam, skittish. Okay, now at least I have king h7 at some point. So rook goes to d7. I take on a2. And my point was that after rook e7, it's still very bad position. Queen b1, king h2, queen f5, and I'm somehow holding. No, I joined on TikTok as well. Oh man. Yeah, but honestly, it's a horrible rook endgame. I have a bunch of weaknesses. Like, even if, let's say, takes, this is a weakness, this is a weakness, this is a weakness. Not really. Yeah, I saw you make TikToks right now as well. Everyone is going for content creation these days. Nah, but man, 10 seconds bullet is just like, no, I'm watching this, it's insane. Even if I play, let's say, 5 games, I think I'm gonna go crazy. Yeah, king is active, exactly. King g3, king f4 takes. The position collapses. So king goes to h2. He just wants to prevent it from happening. I go queen b3, and after rook e7, what I didn't realize is that, so I was calculating this line from very far away. I was like, I take all the pawns, right? And I can take on c4. But I can't really take on c4. I took a... Romkachess, no. I'm not even sure. Like, Noah will destroy me in bullet. In blitz I have chances. In bullets I barely have any chances. Yeah, queen g6, exactly. I took on c4 because, I mean, at this point there is no point in playing further. I'm just completely lost. What do you mean no way I missed? It's easy to miss when you calculate. I mean, the positions, again, it's hopeless. But when you calculate from far away, you kind of forget that there is idea of queen g6. So he plays queen g6. I took, of course. No, but no, I mean, on weekends. I'm not offering you to wake up at 8. Rook g7, and here Sean is like, alright, let's go rook g7 again. And we both laughed. And then, you know, I was like, alright, checkmate. I was like, let's go for free fault. Nah, but I allowed him to checkmate. So yeah, I mean, honestly, horrible game by me. Yeah, Sean. I mean, Sean is young. Sean is the same age. He's like 1 year younger than me. Like, he's 04, I'm 03. Short to wake up. Yeah, no, like, you start streaming like what, at 8, right? At 8 I'm already, you know, lying in the bed, getting ready for sleep. Not all the time, because I watch a bunch of sports games and all that, but too late. Maybe I can show you my game against another strong IM. I was playing with white pieces. Oh, not with white, black. That's a very interesting game as well. That's a very exciting game. And that's the game where I felt like I haven't been playing chess for some time, and I was just, you know, being out calculated over the board. I just felt that way. You know, it was very hard. Oh, Luis, be careful, man. Be careful. So, it was like, I think it was the second game of the day. I won the first one in the morning, so I was like, alright, playing with black pieces. Didn't have time to prepare, but even if I prepared, like, he plays every single move. Oh, just master, look. Right now I live in Canada. It's too far. But you know, maybe I'll come to France eventually to play something. No, I played Kent the day before. Sean was on the last day. You know that I had like 3 lower rated guys, and then I had Kent, and then I had Sean. They were not back to back. Like there was like one game in between. So that's actually not bad, you know. We haven't seen Nolix in a while. He was banned for abuse, and now we don't see him often. Yeah, let's go knight f3, 6, 3. So I was, first of all, I was very happy to see this on the board because I don't have to know anything here. I just develop my pieces slowly and try to get a good position. Do I have plans on reaching IM eventually? No. Look, I'm not that good. FM, yeah. IM is just unrealistic goal. I'm not sure if things change, but look, I'm too old. I'm too old. I don't have too much time to study, so castle and c5. So from what I was taught in those, like, let's say Queen's Indian structures, one could run Canadian zonals. Yeah, and Canadian zonals, yeah. But you know what? No, like next year my work permit expires, and you know, then you never know what might happen. Like they might deport me out of the country. The good thing, I can come back to play zonals only to Canada specifically and try to get FM here. But I never know what will happen. But of course, I'll try to do all I can to stay here. That's why, what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a lot of things, even learning new languages. Yeah, guys, that's Gotham as I am, no excuses. So in Queen's Indian, whenever you get a chance to play c5, you gotta play it. Because usually in Queen's Indian, let's say there are some setups with c4, and white can play d5, sacrificing the pawn. In this case, d5 is, of course, a terrible move. So that's why c5 is playable. Knight d2, takes, bishop goes to e7, goes c3, castle. And, after d6, I was like, alright, I'm in a good spot. He goes knight g5. Very exciting move. Very interesting move. I didn't even expect it. Honestly, I was like, he goes knight e4, and we just trade pieces off the board. It's never too late to become grandma. Actually, I didn't. Let me Google it. Was born in Kiev, he learned Romkachess stage. Alright, I'll leave it here. So he goes knight g5. I was like, what if I go h6? And you know, that's where I was kind of scared. Because h6, I was like, alright, maybe he'll play knight d6. And I asked him after the game, like, was it your plan to play this? Oh, I just got a work text. Nah, you know, I'm sometimes pissed off. Because I'm getting absolutely stupid work text. Absolutely stupid. Yeah, h6. H6 we discussed f4. H4 is something that was possible as well, I believe. No, but f4 is good. F4 is slightly better. At least I've got the weekend. Yeah, but you know, sometimes work is just... Because last 2 days, you kind of imagine. Because, let's say, 2 people were given task, me and another person, right? Guess who did the whole work? And I don't mind, because I know there will be less mistakes, but... So, 95... I don't know about it. Wait, 95 when? After h6, f4, knight d5? Nah. That might get... you even have to calculate knight d6. So yeah, the only thing of Friday is, yeah, the weekend is coming up. No, I mean, I'm generally a very responsible person, so, I mean, you know, but... Yeah, they're just lazy people. Oh, he actually said he didn't want to play knight d6. He was like h6, he said I would probably go f4 or simply knight d4. It wasn't even his plan. He was like, because I was seeing this knight d6, I was like, alright, this might happen. But... So I could go rook f7, but I can also go king h8. Because rook f7, I think bishop g6, and what I was calculating like this. Bishop d5. Bishop f7, king f8. And that should be good. And the problem is, I think in h8, I was calculating something like rook e1, but I think after knight d5, or is it knight d5? Because rook 8, bishop g6. But 95, white was... 95... I'm trying to think what happens after queen g6. Because I believe 95 is best. Oh, maybe knight c6 actually. No, knight c6. And I have no problems. Because let's say d5, I go knight e5. This pawn's under attack, this bishop is under attack. And I have no problems. And I want to go maybe d5, bishop d6, or d5, king d6, trading pieces. Or queen c8. So I played queen c8. Nah, not rook to f6, nah. Queen c8. No, but queen c8, queen e7. Ah, you wanna go rook e8? No, but queen c8 I can take and take rook e7. Nah, you think you wanna trick me, but I'll go takes and then rook e7. Your tricks don't work. So I played queen c8. I was like, alright, let's protect from it. He goes knight e4. I take bishop e4, and here we go for a forced line again. We go for a forced line. H6 I think was best, but H6 again, I was seeing a lot of things. I was seeing f4, I was seeing knight f6, knight h7 or something like this. So it was like... Wait, what's c5? f4 you mean? No, f4 is not necessarily bad. So bishop e4. Oh yeah, d5. Yeah, kinda kills the bishop. So here, this is under attack, right? I played bishop g5. Bishop g5. And I decided to go for bishop e4. So this position is slightly unpleasant. Slightly unpleasant for black. And you'll understand why in a second. So thanks, Noah. Have a great weekend. Yeah, work is tough, Noah. Enjoy your time at university, and then, you know, of course after school you're still at school, so you're still good for next, let's say, 5 years. And then this work will... Oh man. Queen f4, king c6. So I should have played d5 here, and that's where, you know, I didn't like my position, because bishop on g5 is suddenly very good. And Rudra, good morning. So I attacked the queen. That was my plan. So let's say queen goes to h4, that's what I was calculating. And what I didn't like is my knight cannot go to f6, because there is this bishop. Very annoying bishop. f6 is not really a move, because he weakened this. And white have a clear plan. They want to go maybe rook e1 or this rook, then rook e3, rook g3, and potentially an attack. Or they might go queen g4 here as well, trying to go bishop f6 or bishop h6, and then also h4, h5, h6. So I play queen c6, I'm like, alright, maybe let's trade queens off the board. And he plays d5. That what I was calculating. Yeah, exactly. They can activate pieces faster, a lot faster. So I go king b7, and that's where I felt was that. Alright, you know what I was calculating? King g4, f5, in h4, I go e5. Oh, actually not this one. Queen g3 and e5. That's what I was calculating, but queen g3 is apparently not the best move. So queen g4 was played, and after f5 he played queen b4. Like in this one, I was also calculating queen h4, but I believe what we discussed was h6. And the point is, bishop e7 is not playable due to g5, and I win a piece. But after f5 he goes queen d4, attacking the opponent d6. And it becomes complicated. I go h6, bishop goes back to e3, and now I go e5, I sacrifice it, but I want to go for counterplay. And I got a lot of counterplay. He goes king d6, I go f4, attacking the bishop. He goes bishop d2, and now I move my knight to d7. And this position is evaluated as +1. See, knight d7 is best, king c6, and now it's equal. Vipser, you don't have to, man. Why so much, man? I know, I gotta keep asking people not to send me them. I appreciate it. That's freaking a lot of money, man. Thank you, Vipser. Appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. Yeah, I don't worry about work too much. But now I'm working very hard. But yeah, appreciate it. You have a great weekend as well. Thank you very much, Whipster. So queen goes to c6, takes, and now I go knight b8. And after c7, I go knight c6. That's of Canadian dollars. Yeah, you know what? But YouTube like takes half of it. That's why I tell people not to do it like through super chats. Even though I appreciate it very much, but don't send me any donation, guys. I have a full-time work. Just watch the content. You know, there are ads. That's it. Hazara, I'm analyzing the games right now. Not playing people today, unfortunately. So, I was calculating knight a6 initially, but I just didn't like my knight. I was like, yeah, I can take, but, you know, rook e1 is coming. Rook takes e5. Rook e8, and then something like g3 along these lines. Or c4 and knight c7. Yeah, that's what I was calculating. And it's a hard position. Or they can play f3 and then bishop c3 to not allow this to happen. Even though I think bishop c3, e4, rook d1, and it's almost a losing position. So I go knight c6, and let's turn the engine on right now. It's equal. Plus 0.3, it's equal. But it's still a little bit unpleasant. Bishop goes to c3, rook goes to c7, rook d1, taking the open file. Rook f6. So that's where I kind of messed up. So the best move, according to computer here, was f3. And after g3, I would go rook d8. And after takes, bishop e5, I can take on c4, and it's an equal position. I completely missed all of that. But while I play rook f6, f3, and now I'm no longer able to play f3, e4, and f3. And now he fixed my pawn structure, and now it's just terrible. He has beautiful e4 square, goes rook e1, rook e4, rook e1, and just try to take it. And yeah, now it's plus 0.6. Difficult to play. King f7, rook e4, and I was very low on time. Backwards weakness, yeah. Exactly. h5, rook d5, and I just collapsed king g6 before, and I played a5. I was like, I was very long time. b5. What I was calculating like knight b4, takes, and I was like, that's fine. That's a good endgame. What I didn't realize is that after knight b4, there is, I believe, what I was calculating, wait. There's some line with the... yeah, rook g2. And the next move is a3. Pawn to f3 is to box. Not necessarily. It's just to make sure my pawns are not moving forward. Because if I'm able to move either f3 or e4, I'm good. If I can't do it, that's unfortunately a bad thing. But yeah, rook d2 and knight is trapped. Because I cannot protect my knight from going... I can't go anywhere, basically. So I played knight e7, and at this point I realized, okay, he takes on e5, and I'm just collapsing. Bishop d4, this pawn collapses as well, and I resigned. And that's the game where I felt like I had good chances, but then I messed everything up. And it comes from, I think the crucial moment was rook f6, because I allowed him to play after, and I didn't even calculate this move. I think I calculated and I was like, rook e6, e4, but I couldn't do much. Because once he played rook e1, then... And we discussed and I was like, that's very unpleasant. Yeah, that's why after here was a must-have move. I also calculated this, but now takes, bishop e5, rook c4. Maybe not this. Actually, this works as well. This knight e6. What if rook d6, knight d4? I could play this line as well. Surprisingly, it's not that bad. He can't take. He has to go this way, and I go rook c2. So I could play rook d8 as well, but I could play f3, g3, and then rook d8. You know, part of it is kind of lack of calculation. Or maybe, you know what, I was calculating rook d8, bishop e5. Is that it? Rook d1. Oh, I could go back rook d4, and it is a good position. Chess is hard, yeah, Dre. Even though I think I'm on a good level, you know, I was completely outplayed in this specific game. For white, I wanted to take a look at so-called Deutsch Gambit today, but because we spent a lot of time analyzing my two games against IM and Gem, you know, I'll post it on Discord once I, you know, finish working on it. Yeah, you don't need to like remember and learn a lot of openings. I would start with a couple. Like for white to 4. And playing the Deutsch Gambit. 20,000 games, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't think I have this many games in my profile. Give me a sec, do I have this many games? No, I have 18,000 games in the last 5 years on chess.com. Nah, that's crazy. Oh, it's never too late by Охотник. Yeah, I memorize it. But yeah, guys, with white pieces, I think that's what you should go for, especially online. No, I've been Blitz and Rapid 20,000 games. It gotta be a gem at this point, man. No, 20,000 games in 1 year. That's a crazy amount. Yeah, of course, Bishop d4 is main line here. Yeah. But the problem is, below 2000, there are a bunch of people who will play takes c4, or they will play knight d4. Yeah, look, after bishop d4, there is a very cute line. So you take, and you go bishop g5. Now, they want to take on e4 as well, but they can't, because obviously there's queen, so they play h6. We don't trade, we go bishop h4, and after g5, which is a mistake, we play f4. And the best move here is c5, but I don't think... First of all, you won't even get here, probably, but the problem is I won against IMs in Blitz, on chess.com, on Lichess, in this specific line. People go for this pawn somehow. Quality over quantity. No, sometimes quantity matters if you do it the right way. If you analyze it. And now, basically, let's take a look at this move. Ba-bam. And it's all over. What's the name? It's called Deutz. I'll text you. Alright guys, I'll have to finish in 2 minutes. My work will start. So I'll have to be back. Oh yeah, Rook J8, yeah, that's one of the main lines, exactly. But you can start with d6 and then eventually go bishop e6, Rook J8. Yeah, you know a lot of stuff, man. But yeah, black have to know their stuff. Yeah, exactly. Because you know, I studied this when I was very young. Then bunch of my coach saw playing me, and then you know, she taught everyone the same gambit. Everyone started playing it, so I was facing it with black pieces, and I was like, I gotta be prepared. And of course, I knew everything, so most of the time I was winning without problems. Because also I was playing against low-rated guys who tried to play the same thing, but you gotta know everything. So yeah, this one is good, and if she takes h4, if takes e5, this knight is under attack. Catch up on... Oh. Yeah, you should know everything then. Yeah, you know, you can play London with white or play e4. Is Queen's Gambit. It's playable, why not? Alright guys, have to go right now. My apologies. Work starts. You have a great Friday, great upcoming weekend. Tomorrow is Bullet Brawl. Tomorrow I'm not analyzing games. I'm not playing viewers, unfortunately. I go live for 2 hours, play against title players. Try to beat them. Last week we played against Magnus. We made a draw against Magnus, so hopefully tomorrow he plays as well. And we try to beat him. But I don't think it's possible right now, because I'm not that good even in Bullet. But let's see. So we'll just try to play, to do our best tomorrow. And then we'll be back on Monday with a regular schedule. So next Friday, Saturday, I'll be probably on the tournament. Then I'll have Canadian Chess Championship as well. So there will be less streams in the next couple of weeks, but yeah, there will be a lot of over the board content on YouTube. Thanks, Whipster. You too. You too. Hey guys, have a great Friday. Have a great upcoming weekend. See you next week or tomorrow. But again, on Saturday, I tell people maybe don't even come because I talk a lot, but I'm mostly focused on Bullet for 2 hours. Still try to communicate, but not as much, of course. But yeah, we'll be back on Monday with a lot of talking again. Yeah, I mean, you have to learn one opening. One good opening, and then it just become a master in it and try just to move on. Improve. Have fun, people. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.